So here's how to transform your game in 12 weeks or less using the Guaranteed Growth System, all without getting lost in the crowd, in-person trainers, or wasting time at team and individual training. Just to make sure I'm not wasting anyone's time, this video is for the high school players willing to work hard to gain an extra edge, the players that want to dominate on their current team to get recruited to colleges, and the players committed to developing as athletes and also people. And if you're watching this, you might be emailing coaches, but you're not getting attention. You're not playing as well as you know you can in games, and you're working hard, but you're still not far ahead of your competition. And this is a really tough place to be because you're scared of how your future will unfold. You know you have the potential to be great, but you're impatient and you want things to change now. And the problem is every week that you wait, the recruiting deadline is coming closer. And if you don't make changes to your performances, you won't get the dream college offers that you've been investing so much time into working towards. And if you're like how I was, then you would love for your email inbox to be blowing up, to have teammates, coaches, and parents all compliment you on how much that you've improved, and to skip ahead of all the mistakes that you know your competition will make throughout the process. First off, let me say this, I am not a recruiting service, and I don't have some instant cheat code that's going to get you 20 offers starting tomorrow. And this video is not for you if you don't think that you need to improve, you're just looking for an instant, easy way to sneak onto a college roster, you're not willing to invest time to learn how to achieve your goals, or you don't want to work hard to reach the aspiration that you have for college. So what I do is I help high school soccer players achieve the college goals that they have, and what's been working for other athletes is completely transforming their game as a player in just 12 weeks. And I'm going to show you how it happens, because I have created and tested a proven system to develop high school soccer players that want to get recruited for college, something that guarantees that you grow in confidence, skill, and also awareness as a person and a player. And this is all without guessing what will work or making the same struggles that a player typically goes through. And I've tested this throughout over 6 years of my own experience, all the way from when I was on JV my sophomore year of high school to never being able to make the first team at my club, and then eventually captaining a top 75 D1 program and attending pro trials at a USL championship and also a USL 1 side where I was able to play against and with some of the best in America. The Guaranteed Growth System that I've optimized is something that helps guys like Sam feel more confident in his position, as Sam used to stay away from cutting in and avoided 1v1s, and now he feels like he can shoot wherever he wants to in games. It also has parents that are noticing a difference themselves as their sons are getting trophies and awards at camps they're attending to, and they're also seeing the training that we've been working on translate into other practices. This system is also what let me myself go from 1 goal my junior year of high school to 17 goals the next, which is where I earned my D1 offer. And it's a system that allows players to come back from an offseason the best player on their team, to see attention from coaches dramatically increase, and to go into college ahead of all the other recruits already ready to play. What that shows is that the Guaranteed Growth System is the most effective way to transform your game as a player in just 12 weeks, to allow you to reach those college aspirations that you have so that you can unlock the potential that's yet to be unleashed and leave everybody else behind. It's the clearest, simplest way to become a dominant player and get recruited without having to rely on those recruiting services, some copy and paste program that you see online, or placing bets on coaches that don't actually have your best intention. And you don't need to have some unreal athleticism or already be getting these great D1 offers for this to work. The Guaranteed Growth System is taking kids who work hard but haven't seen their justified results into standout players that their old self wouldn't recognize. And I use 3 core focuses to unlock this growth. But before we get into that, let me address who is this random guy on the internet who helps high school soccer players become dominant in just a matter of a few months. My name's Chris Cushing. That's my Instagram right there. I'm the founder of Training by Cushing, and I was just like you when I was in high school. I was always a decent player, but I was not dominating and making the impact that I knew I needed to make in order to achieve my college aspirations. But I did know I did not want to pay for some recruiting service. I thought they were scams, and I was rightly so for the most part. So I thought that I'd be better off figuring it out alone. But looking back over 5 years now, I realized that doing it alone was completely wrong, and I'll speak more on this later. When I was in high school, I trained a bunch and I was always at the field, but I was seeing guys around me getting offers that I myself knew I was capable of, but what I was doing just was not working. But once I did start creating my own system for player and mental development, I quickly saw results. I had only 1 goal my junior year of high school, like I mentioned, and the next year I was Conference Player of the Year with 17 goals in 10 games, and I was the only player on my team to get a D1 offer. But when I got to college, I still found myself facing more struggles. I didn't touch the field my freshman year for the first 7 games. So what did I do? I had to rely on what I knew works again, which is my system. And within a few games, I was one of the only freshmen to get playing time on the team. I became a consistent starter. And then a year after that, my sophomore year, I was able to start every single game, and I had the most minutes on the team. And I'm transferring the next semester to the College of Charleston. I went on to have around 3,000 minutes played on this top 75 ranked D1 team. I was also named captain. And after following the system that I've created and fine-tuning it along the way, I could not be more proud to say that the 15-year-old kid that you see in this picture, who had no confidence, no offers, and no guidance at all, was able to go on to move on further to competing against MLS teams, earning a trial with a top 50 professional team in all of North America, the Charleston Battery you can see here. And that's not something that I'm saying trying to show off. It's just to give proof that it is not out of reach to completely redefine your career path as a soccer player. And since I figured it out, I realized the value that I hold to help other athletes who are just like me, the high school players that don't have offers, the high school players that are worried about their futures, and also those guys that are just willing to do whatever it takes to achieve their dreams. And in the past 4 years, I've trained several players in person, teaching them exactly what works to see improvements. You can see some results of those, as it's been great to see some of the comments like these that shows how much they've improved, where it's exactly what their son needed, or they're just reaching out for help because they know I know better than them and their dad, which is completely fair. And then, however, with in-person training, I was limited in several ways. I could only work with athletes 1 to 2 hours a week. When I knew they needed more, I was spending time with players that weren't 100% invested in working hard to achieve their goals, and I didn't have time to help them with the other parts of soccer that are so important, the confidence, the mental side, the focus, for example. And the players that actually were a great fit were often busy with their own team trainings and travel schedules, which made it really difficult. That meant that training athletes in person was only holding me back from helping them as much as I really knew I could. And players who were like me, that wanted to learn, they have potential within them, and they just needed a customized way to grow that fits their situation, they weren't getting my best with in-person training. So I switched to remote development mentorship, where I can guarantee transformations no matter what travel, what team trainings and game schedules, and whatever individual work players are already doing. I could review the game film that they have along with the videos that they send me of them training. And with that, I could give them D1 level advice on what to improve. I could create a customized training plan that works with their already busy schedule. And I can give them all of the value that I have, which I've learned throughout my mentors in college and professional soccer. And this way they can progress faster than all of their teammates. This is all without driving and paying for overcharging private trainers in person, without wasting time believing myths about the college process that just aren't true, and without having to completely change their already busy training schedule. I realize that one-on-one mentorship and training is now a necessity at this point in the American soccer system because competition is at its highest point yet. But a sufficient one-on-one coach charging $60 a session at 5 times a week is $1,200 every month. That's $300 a week for in-person training, and that's if it is possible, with commuting 30 plus minutes at times to their fields every day, trying to find a time that works. And these coaches in person still aren't able to build an elite mental framework and provide personalized mentorship to the athlete based on any situation that they're in. So with this, I launched the Guaranteed Growth System that allows for the benefits of a D1 level private training without all of the restrictions that come from in-person training. That way players can get access to the value that I've learned all over the country, no matter what, and finally get the real results that they need. Players are already doing it, like Everett, you can see in these texts, who I've coached, who ended up getting promoted to a better team and started banging out hat tricks. There's also players like Jordy in these texts who was going through a rough time. He was considering quitting. He didn't have access to a car or the fields, so we figured out a plan for him to train in literally just his backyard and his garage, along with a high focus on the mental side of the game, which he only needed an internet connection for. You can see he can't go to the field. He didn't know how to get there, and he also was struggling. He was thinking about quitting. And just after 4 weeks working with him, Jordy says that he's seen his ball control improve to a level he's never seen before. And yes, he admits he's not the player he knows he can become, but he expects more progress working with me. And I'm super proud to show that off. And this isn't supposed to overhaul your entire training schedule, because unlike in-person training, I'm able to do several things. I'm able to analyze your training and games to optimize what you're already doing, provide time and space-restricted plans to get in the extra work on your schedule and your restrictions, and also mentor you through all the problems that you're facing currently and create actionable steps to move forwards. The athletes that work with me that are most successful are already taking advantage of this. They know how to ask advice. They know that the more they give me, the more I can help about how they're struggling on their shot placement or their consistency. They're also noting that they have trouble in certain parts of the drills that I can always help with. And also from the athletes that I've worked with, most reasons that guys aren't succeeding come down to these three main pillars. The first is the training itself. Players aren't training with intention when they get to the fields. They also don't have a direct translation with their training to their game-specific skills. High school guys also aren't optimizing the number of reps that they're putting in for each skill, which we can all fix. And the second is the lack of an elite mindset. Guys are playing really well in training, but they're not doing the same in games. They feel like they're holding back in games and they're playing small and constricted. Players aren't consistently putting up good performances. The last pillar I've noticed is that it's the lack of guidance and mentorship. Players don't actually know how good they are and what level that they can play at in college. They don't have a real idea. Players also don't have someone to ask right there next to them when they struggle mentally with anything off the field or on the field. And players, I cannot stress this enough, players are digesting information from unreliable sources that haven't been exactly where they're trying to be, which is college soccer. And there's a few huge misconceptions that I hear high school soccer players say all the time. It's killing their progress. One is, I only need more exposure to get recruited to college. Two is, all I need is a better highlight tape. That's why coaches aren't responding. And three, this one is super dangerous. I'm not getting emails because I'm unlucky. It's just unfair. But the truth is, players need to focus less on the exposure side and more on development to get them recruited. When I was in high school, I would also complain. I would say, coaches just don't understand how hard of a worker I am. This teammate is getting these offers, but I'm not, and I'm better. What's going on? I'd also say I simply just don't have enough connections like everyone else does. I'm just unlucky. Something's going against me, but that's not the truth. So the results that I focus on in the guaranteed growth system for my players is to eliminate excuses and to become undeniable. Because here is the truth. If you are good enough, you will get recruited. And right now, you just aren't undeniable to coaches yet. Most high school players, they never find this out. They never realize this. That's the reason so many high school players fail. And to become undeniable, it takes training intentionally, optimized for real game results, mental transformation that gives you consistent performances, and personalized mentorship to walk you through every single step of the way to your success. So if you're a player like the ones that I talked about, you're willing to learn, you're willing to put in the work, you're tired of not seeing your potential come out, and you're concerned about where your future will be, then we can look into if you'd be a good fit for the guaranteed growth system and working with me, as long as I can guarantee your transformation as a player in 12 weeks or less. So let me emphasize, heads up, if you are not willing to work hard, you're just looking for a cheat code to college recruiting, and you're only focused on the college exposure side of things, not the development as a player, then this is not for you. And I'm sorry, I'd love to help, but I'm not going to be able to give you the transformation that you're looking for. But if you are desperate to change your game completely in 12 weeks and as a result get more eyes on to get recruited to your dream colleges, I'm really glad that you found this video. You can either take all the information that I've shared with you and just run with it, trying to do it on your own, facing the failures and the roadblocks that the average player faces, or you can skip ahead of all those failures, use what I have, take all the knowledge that I've gained throughout my journey from high school soccer all the way to professional trials, and work with someone that's done exactly what you want to achieve, someone that will walk with you every single step of the way. And if you're like how I was, you want to make a change, achieving your goals with soccer means a ton to you, you would do anything, then you specifically are a perfect fit to hop on a call with me. We'll see exactly how we can get you the results that you, because the life that you could be living, playing at your dream school, dominating as a player at another level, and having an elite mindset that translates to any situation, it's not out of reach, I promise you, but it is urgent that you take action. Because the biggest reason for failure for high school soccer players desperate to play at their dream college is not failure itself, but lack of action taken to get there. Players are saying how bad they want something to be done, but they have big goals and they have little action to back it up. And I don't want any player to face this regret that they didn't do what was best for their career, because playing at your dream college is an experience that is irreplaceable. It's something that would be extremely painful to miss out on, and you can take it from someone that used to consider not playing in college himself. That was me. I thought it was too far out of reach at times. So take a second, see yourself balling out under the lights in that stadium with those fans on that Saturday night at the NCAA level. And if you like how that sounds and you want to hear more about how exactly I can help you achieve that, then send me a DM at Training by Cushing, just like in this picture on Instagram. Explain to me that you're ready to hear more. So be elite, achieve your dreams, because there is no better feeling, and I'll talk to you soon.